¿Qué hubo, raza? Yo soy Ernesto Ayala, and this is AztlanWeekly. We begin with news desde Pacific Palisades, Califas. According to a Department of Justice press conference held in La Semana Pasada on October 8th, a former Uber driver, Jonathan Rindernet, was charged with starting the notorious Palisades fire. La Jura used cell phone data to place Rinder near the origin of a small brush fire he is accused of setting on January 1st, 2025. The small fire later reignited due to winds and became the Palisades Fire, which resulted in extensive destruction, including at least 12 deaths and the loss of nearly 7,000 homes and structures. The suspect has been charged with destruction of property by means of fire. If convicted, he faces a mandatory minimum sentence of 5 years in La Pinta with a statutory maximum of 20 years. And remember, they were actually trying to blame Raza for that. Now, noticias from our camarada Yvette Xochillot desde Orange County and Sur Califas. During the second week of October, ICE immigration enforcement operations intensified in Orange County. This signals an adapted strategy: smaller teams, targeted detentions, and overlapping presence. Efforts designed to stretch community capacity and reinforce uncertainty. Several migra raids were reported in Central and North Orange County, including Santa Ana, Garden Grove, Orange, and Fullerton. For example, a raid was reported at Garden Grove Chapman Car Wash, where 6 to 8 people were captured and detained, including one U.S. citizen. Moreover, arrests were made near Santa Ana's Hickory and Pine, and reports were made of the presence of plainclothes, quote-unquote, police or HSI units inside residential complexes. And in South Orange County, Laguna Niguel and Lake Forest, reports were made that up to 4 jardineros, landscapers, were detained mid-morning near the La Paz Home Depot. These incidents reflect low visibility, daytime targeting of outdoor laborers while shielding employers from liability. Meanwhile, in Orange County's eastern corridor, Anaheim, Tustin, Irvine, unmarked SUVs trailed commuters and buses toward Santiago Canyon College, sustaining intelligence gathering operations rather than mass arrests. Repeated patterns indicate continued coordination among ICE, HSI, and local agencies. The following patterns emerged. Vehicles with paper tags and tinted vans facilitate covert staging. Early morning actions, 6 to 9 a.m. Target day laborers, plainclothes officers wearing mixed insignia create confusion. Proximity to schools and workplaces breaches sensitive locations, norms, community intimidation via visible patrols amounts to psychological pressure. In summary, October marks the transition from episodic raids to sustained territorial control of migrant corridors. This operational model seeks not mass deportation, but behavioral compliance through fear and unpredictability. Local watchers continue counter-surveillance and rapid response coordination, proving that collective visibility remains the strongest defense against invisibility. Our camarada Yvette Xochillot also provides news desde Adelanto, Califas. On October 11th, at the Adelanto Detention Center, a vigil for Ivy Sihomping, an Indonesian mother detained since June, was held for peace and prayer, yet several families and community members trying to visit their loved ones were told they could not enter while the vigil and media were outside. Even after the group moved and ended the event early, security continued blocking visits, leaving several elders waiting outside in distress. Families are being forced to choose between showing support and seeing their loved ones, a tactic meant to silence the community through fear and guilt. Under international law, using emotional harm or manipulation to control people can qualify as psychological torture when done by officials del Estado. It also violates basic rights to family contact, freedom of religion, and peaceful assembly. What happened at Adelanto is a form of isolating detained migrants and discouraging public solidarity. Continuous observation and documentation are needed to protect families and expose these abuses. And news desde San Pancho, San Francisco, Califas. Last month, Equator Coffees raised over $1,000 for La Raza Community Resource Center, La Raza CRC, during Raza Heritage Month by donating $1 from every cup sold. That means every single cup made a difference in this campaign. La Raza CRC thanks everyone who supported us with a cup. All funds fuel La Raza Community Resource Center's ability to bring basic needs, legal support, and crucial resources to Spanish-speaking families in San Francisco. Mil gracias. Equator Coffees. And in other Califas news, according to edsource.org, in early October 22nd, incarcerated mujeres at the California Institution for Women became the first all-female cohort to graduate with bachelor's degrees from the California State University's Los Angeles LA Prison Graduation Initiative. The graduates earned a Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Studies through an accelerated 2-year program designed to address unique challenges faced by incarcerated mujeres. The Cal State LA Prison Graduation Initiative advances prison reform by demonstrating the rehabilitative impact of education and addressing the needs of incarcerated women through an in-person bachelor's degree program. By offering higher education, the program provides a method for reducing recidivism and fostering positive change for graduates and their communities, serving as a model for educational equity with the justice system. For more information, visit calstatela.edu/PGI. Y noticias from our camarada Robert Ramírez desde Colorazlán, Colorado. On October 13th, La Raza Unida's Denver chapter held its official launch dinner and community screening at the Denver Inner City Parish. Members of the community gathered to share a meal, connect, and view the documentary film War of the Flea, Fight for Chicano Studies. The evening featured a special appearance by the director and La Raza Unida secretary Ernesto Todd Mireles, who spoke about the ongoing struggle for Chicano studies and the importance of grassroots organizing. The event brought together residents, activists, and supporters to celebrate the launch of the chapter and to honor the legacy of cultural and political resistance in Denver. Our camarada Robert Ramirez also reports Denver's International Airport will not be showing the controversial DHS video of Secretary Christie Noem blaming Democrats for the government shutdown and TSA delays. The message has been criticized as political and possibly illegal under the Hatch Act. The DIA says its monitors don't have audio, so the video can't be played. Other Colorado airports, including Colorado Springs and Aspen, also refused to show it, calling it a violation of policy. The shutdown, now in the second week, continues to cause long lines and unpaid work for TSA staff nationwide. And news from our camarada Andrea Martinez desde Crazy Town, Roswell, Nuevo Mexico. 2 weeks ago, the city of Roswell held a public meeting to introduce the candidates running for local office. The event highlighted a growing divide between longtime incumbents seeking to keep their seats and new community-driven candidates who have been working directly with the people. Many residents expressed frustration with those who have held office yet failed to deliver meaningful change for Roswell. Community organizers are now calling on every candidate, new and returning alike, to go beyond campaign talk and show their commitment through action. We invite each candidate to volunteer in their community, in any area they choose, so that people of Roswell can see who truly stands with them and who is ready to serve. Our camarada Andrea Martinez also reports the 2025 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine was awarded to Mary E. Brunkow, Fred Ramsdell, and Shimon Sakaguchi for their groundbreaking research on peripheral immune tolerance, the process by which the immune system is prevented from attacking the body's own tissues, reducing autoimmune diseases, and improving prospects for cancer therapies and organ transplants. This work has profound connections to Nuevo Mexico, as the state is home to leading immunologists and research centers, including partnerships at Los Alamos and Sandia National Laboratories and the University of New Mexico Health Sciences Center, which actively engage in immunology, autoimmune disease, and cancer immunity research inspired by discoveries such as those honored by the Nobel Prize. The prize highlights the global and regional impact of basic science on medical innovation and patient treatment options in Nuevo Mexico and beyond. And news from our camarada Chista Garcilaso desde Arizona, Arizona. Last week, the U.S. Supreme Court declined to hear the organization's, the Apache Stronghold, appeal to protect Oak Flat, a sacred site in Arizona, from massive copper mine. This is the second time the Supreme Court has declined indigenous efforts to overturn a land exchange, as the court's October 6 unsigned order denied the petition for rehearing without explanation, meaning the lower court's ruling is left in place. The case has been the subject of years of legal battles between the Apache organization and the mining company Resolution Copper. And the fight is not over, as other legal avenues may be explored, as some aspects of the case are still being processed in lower courts. The Apache Stronghold vows to continue fighting. The Apache Stronghold desde San Carlos, Arizona is a 501c3 nonprofit community organization of individuals who come together in unity to battle continued colonization, defend holy sites and freedom of religion, and are dedicated to building a better community through neighborhood programs and civic engagement. They work from San Carlos to Arizona, connecting Apaches and other native and non-native allies from all over the world. For more information, visit their website, www.apache-stronghold.com. Our camarada Chista Garcilaso also reports, according to the Associated Press, Adelita Grijalva, daughter of the late Congressman Raul Grijalva, won her special election on September 23rd to represent Arizona's 7th Congressional District, becoming the first Chicana and indigenous woman to hold that seat. But despite her victory, she still hasn't been sworn into office, and many believe there's a political motive behind the delay. House Speaker Mike Johnson claims it's because of the ongoing government shutdown, but critics argue he's holding off because Grijalva's vote would give Democrats the 218th signature needed to force a House vote on releasing the notorious Jeffrey Epstein files. Release the files. And news desde Dallas, Texas. Dallas artist and exhibition curator Jose Vargas is seeking art entries for the 2025 La Virgen de Guadalupe art exhibition. The show will be presented at the Latino Cultural Center, a facility of the City of Dallas Office of Arts and Culture, from December 6, 2025 to January 16, 2026, in order to fall during the Feast of the Virgen de Guadalupe, which is celebrated on December 12th. The central theme being La Virgen de Guadalupe, an important and celebrated figure in Raza and Latin American religion, art, and culture. Artwork created for this exhibition must depict the image of the Virgen de Guadalupe or must be primarily based on her image. Artists are encouraged to create unique works of art that feature original concepts and ideas, innovative techniques, and great imagination. The exhibit's curator, Jose Vargas, has been organizing and curating this art show since 1992 and is looking forward for this year's exhibition at the Latino Cultural Center. Artists are encouraged to contact Mr. Vargas at jvargas898 at earthlink.net. That's jvargas898 at earthlink.net. If they have any questions about their entries, for more information, visit lcc.dallasculture.org and click on Get Involved. Y noticias desde Aztlán, Nevada. According to an October Reno Gazette Journal article, Las Vegas is currently experiencing a tourism downturn, with declining visitor volume in the first half of the year. This decline is attributed to the end of post-COVID revenge spending, weaker consumer confidence, decreased international travel, specifically from Canada, and the city's shift towards a luxury market with rising prices. The article states that rooms booked in Las Vegas are down, as well as flights to the city. Steve Hill, president and CEO of the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, pointed to outside factors for the bulk of the city's tourism decline. He stated, "Really, the first 5 months of the year are kind of mirroring the rest of the country, as the overall slowdown has also been seen this year in the U.S. tourism and aviation sector all around the country." And now, Aztlán Mundial, porque we bring Aztlán with us everywhere we go.
We interrupt this program for a special news bulletin.
I'm Scott Russell Duncan, Chicano writer and editor with the widest name. Scott! This is a special report for AztlanWeekly on Raza. Join me as I head into the wilds of this heart of whiteness, looking for Mexican food, cultura, and Mexicans themselves. I'll be finding Raza and asking them, what's life like? What the are you doing here? And the real question, LA tacos, San Antonio tacos, or London tacos?
This is Scott Russell Duncan with AztlanWeekly, and this is Aztlán Mundial. I'm a pocho here with fellow pocho Colton Campbell. Sorry about that. Hey. Play hello. Hello, soy pocho. Okay, very good, culture. We're here with two people who'd like to introduce yourselves.
I'm Catherine Lean. I'm a professor of Hispanic Studies at Dorsey College, Dublin.
And I'm Eric Carrillo, and I have a cultural project that is called Ondita Mestiza.
It's great to have you both here on Atlan Mundial. I guess the first question is, what the heck are you doing in Ireland?
I was born here, so I suppose it's my parents' fault.
And as for me, so I arrived to Ireland 4 years ago with my partner. Aww. And we are originally from Mexico City. And we came here to Ireland to study a master's degree. I studied a master's degree in Visual and Critical Studies. And at the moment, I'm working in the National Gallery as well, but also we have a cultural project that is called Ondita Mestiza, and we engage arts and together.
Great. I guess the first question would be, have you ever heard the word Chicano?
Yeah, I've taught Chicano studies here now for about 20 years, and it's not a very big field here. But nonetheless, I found that Irish students or students based in Ireland are really interested in it because there are a lot of affinities between Chicano people and Irish people. You know, we're obviously people with more Irish people or people of Irish origin living outside Ireland than in Ireland, you know, by many millions. And we have a lot of connections, I think, you know, in terms of our love of music, in terms of our Catholic past, you know, or present for some people. And we're also a bilingual country, even though Irish isn't widely spoken. Nonetheless, you know, there have been efforts to revive it, and in some parts of the country. And, you know, a lot of people do big Irish as their birth language. So I was a bit concerned when I first started teaching Chicano studies that the students would really get it or relate to it, but they really like it. And I'm glad to say that we now have modules in Trinity College for the first time in Chicano Studies.
Same question to you.
So, well, actually, the first time I heard about the Chicano was when I was listening to Selena when I was a child. And then I watched the movie with Jennifer Lopez. Oh yeah, and I remember that really well about kind of the cosmovision, no, the Chicano. But then in the last years when I arrived to Ireland, I get like a similar feeling of feeling like an outsider. So then I started to read this woman. She's Chicana. Her name is Gloria Gonzaldúa. And so yeah, I found it really interesting how she calls this tercer mestizaje, you know, like this. I don't know if there's a word in English to say mestizaje, like it's mestizaje. But yeah, that's when I think I felt more identified with Chicanos than I would say with the Mexican, no? Because I think a lot of Mexican, we are very proud of our Mexicanness, especially we haven't, you know, migrated to another country. And then we think like all Mexican is only part of what is inside the territory of Mexico. That's now like I've been studying also. Catherine has helped me a lot about the Chicano studies, like how can I relate that Chicano identity with Mexican Irish, I guess, identity. So yes.
Well, that's great. Colton, do you have anything to?
Do you think it's possible to become a Chicano without moving to America or outside of America? Do you identify with that?
No, I think it's no, because when you are kind of inside a community, like for example, I'm from Mexico City, you think you're part of, you know, the whole city, the whole system. So sometimes you need to go outside and see it with another perspective, no? And learning that you are not the center of the world. And I guess with Chicano, there's always this dichotomy of you are not Mexican, but you're not American. So what is it then, no?
Being Mexican-American is tough. Anglos jump all over you if you don't speak English perfectly. Mexicans jump all over you if you don't speak Spanish perfectly. We got to be twice as perfect as anybody else. Why are you laughing? What's so funny?
Nothing.
I'm serious. Our family has been here for centuries, and yet they treat us as if we just swam across the Rio Grande. I mean, we got to know about John Wayne and Pedro Infante. We got to know about Frank Sinatra and Agustin Lara. We got to know about Oprah and Christina. Anglo food is too bland, and yet when we go to Mexico, we get the runs. Now that to me is embarrassing.
No, Dad!
Japanese Americans, Italian Americans, German Americans, their homeland is on the other side of the ocean. Ours is right next door, right over there. And we gotta prove to the Mexicans how Mexican we are, and we gotta prove to the Americans how American we are. We gotta be more Mexican than the Mexicans, and more American than the Americans, both at the same time. It's exhausting. Man, nobody knows how tough it is to be a Mexican American.
So I think, yeah, obviously I think that Chicano identity has to do more with being an outsider, but they're also trying to find their own community. I don't know, so I think it's more kind of related to that.
Great answer. So I'd like to ask you something. So we've been around a couple of cities in the British Isles here, not quite Ireland, right? But and a lot of Mexicans have been kind of like shy to talk to us. Why do you guys think that is? Maybe you could inform us a little bit.
I know that Mexican people are shy to talk about.
Well, maybe like 3. We only found 3. Now,
Yeah, well, gosh, I don't know. I can't speak for them. I mean, Irish people love to talk.
Maybe, like, for example, maybe it's a language, like maybe some Mexicans, they speak, like, for example, here in Ireland, there's a lot of Mexicans. Maybe the mistake sometimes is like they try to speak with other Mexicans. My philosophy at the beginning was like, I'm not going to speak any Spanish because I wanted to learn more English, like live up fluent with the English. But I don't know, maybe there's something in them that shocks them, or I don't know, or probably this kind of sense of in their perspective, no? Saying like, okay, you're Chicano, so you're not Mexican, so I don't feel connected with you. Or I don't know if that's to do with that, but maybe I'm saying something stupid,
No, it's quite an experience to come across a cultural.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's yeah. They're sitting here next to cultists. So would you have anything else to add?
Y'all do food studies. Can you tell us a little bit about this fusion between Irish and Mexican food?
When I think fusion might be a generous description of some of what passes for Mexican food here, I'm afraid that, you'll come across fast food chains where they just throw some, and minced beef and cheese with maybe a few chilies on top of some, fries. So,
brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
I think it's a term that maybe is used fairly loosely. For me, fusion food will be a real attempt to bring different culinary traditions together, in a way that's respectful to both, but trying something new, and I suppose that's one of the things that attracts me to Chicano stuff, that it's not an essentialist identity, it's an open identity that welcomes different influences and so on. And as an Irish person who grew up in a very monocultural Ireland, that was definitely something that was very attractive to me. But going back to the food culture, you definitely have to adapt the recipes here. We were just talking about that earlier, because you can't get some ingredients here, or it's just too expensive. And so there is adaptation definitely that I think, is in some ways maybe not always successful, but then sometimes it works really well. So we were thinking of an example, and that was birria tacos with Guinness is a really welcome evolution, I would say.
I was thinking also a recipe that we did like opening last year. So we did a tuna tostada. With obviously the tuna, it was from Ireland, with some chipotle mayo, jalapeno peppers with soy sauce. But then on the top, because usually in some parts of Mexico they add some fried onions, but in this case we added seaweed, Irish seaweed. Oh wow! Like it enhanced the flavors of the sea. So I think it's about also to learn more about the Irish food, the ingredients that they have, because I recently also that the most ancient Irish food are the oysters that been here for thousands of years, and but obviously Mexico eat it as well. So it's to figure out this bridge, between Mexican cuisines and Irish food, because some people would say there's no Irish food, but I'm the idea of there's Irish food. The problem is like the narrative.
Both great answers. I think for our most important question now, which I understand that you guys may not, I know you guys have been around, but as far as you know, LA tacos, San Antonio tacos, El Paso tacos, or what they used to call DF, but like what you call Mexico's Ciudad de Mexico now, right? for Dublin talk or Dublin tacos. Or I should say, if there's another place in Ireland they may have even better than Dublin, and you can like let us know. But like as far as you go,
I'm gonna go with LA tacos. But I know that's definitely not Dublin, I'm afraid.
Well, I think it has to do in my experience with a context where you came from. I think the taste is shaped by your context, by your, even if you back then you had like a certain, how say, more money to buy, like to get seafood. For example, seafood is not that cheap, not that expensive. Sorry, not that cheap. So it depends also of the mood. Like, for example, a really comfort food I really like, especially now in winter, is like a sopa de fideos with some spicy sauce and to some handmade tortillas and with some chicharron that I make here in Dublin. So that's really kind of homemade food, which you feel like you're in your home. But then I remember one time I went to San Diego and I was so impressed about the tacos. They were really good. I went to this small brewery, like they make their own beer, and on the side they were serving some tacos. I was so impressed, and I remember that they were served. What's the name of this? To put the tacos on a container on this kind of wavy.
oh yeah, the shred tapas. What that? Armitas?
No, the container where they put the tacos to eat them. Yeah.
Like the taco warmer, or just like they carry it around?
The stand of the tacos.
Oh, okay.
So when I saw that as a Mexican, I was like, no, this is not nice. But then because we relate that to Tex-Mex, but then I tried and I remember like it was really nice. So yeah, I would say San Diego.
So I was going to say that the wrong answer, LA taco, is correct. But then again, I did grow up in San Diego, so now I don't know I don't know the answer anymore. I have nothing but confusion since coming to this country. I want to thank all of you for being on Aztlan Mundial. And any last words for many of you?
I love watching. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks again.
Now we return you to our regular scheduled program.
And now, eventos en Aztlán. From our camarada Chista Garcilaso desde Arizona, Aztlán, Arizona, come by to honor our ancestors with the heart of the Con Cariño Ancestor Altar Workshop, the latest community workshop at Phoenix Palabras Bookstore. When? Saturday, October 18th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. This event will be facilitated by La Lobita, and you'll learn the meaning behind Dia de los Muertos, including the importance of such altar elements as fire, earth, water, and air. Come by to build your own ofrenda with respect and tradition. Seats are limited, so come early and bring your spirit. For more information or to RSVP, visit palabrasbookstore.com. And an event in Flagstaff, Arizona, Aztlán, Arizona. Mecha, el Movimiento Estudiantil Chicana de Aztlán, will host a community dinner this Sunday, October 19th. This upcoming Mecha dinner is not only about food, community, and action, but also about el movimiento en las montañas, as the organization will focus una plática on how we can learn from local indigenous communities in Flagstaff. For more information, find them on Instagram by searching Mecha Flagstaff. Y también from our camarada Scott Duncan. On Monday, October 20th, join writers Colton Campbell, E.C. Dukes, Scott Duncan, and M.M. Olivas as they read their work, exploring the mind, breaking the darkness of being Chicanx. This reading will take place in the heart of San Francisco's Mission District at Medicine for Nightmares bookstore, starting at 7 p.m. For more information, visit medicinefornightmares.com/events or find them on Instagram by searching Medicine for Nightmares. And an event in Centro Califas, Hijas de Tonatzin, Fresno, will be holding their monthly session in rural Fresno County. This week's session, Shoebox Ofrendas for Dia de Muertos. Bring your shoe boxes to make altars for Dia de Muertos. This session begins at 1:30 p.m. at Fresno's Chicano Youth Center. The address, 1515 East Divisadero Street, Fresno, Califas. For more information, go to ChicanoYouthCenterFresno.org or find them on Instagram by searching Chicano Youth Center, Fresno. Our camarada Andrea Martinez desde Nuevo Mexicaslan, Nuevo Mexico, would like those in Roswell to know the Food Not Bombs Roswell Division, a nonprofit under the umbrella of Hagerman Forward, serves food to those in need every Sunday at 1 p.m. and Thursday at 4 p.m. If you reside in the Roswell area and are in need of food, please contact Jocelyn Smith for food distribution locations. She can be reached at 575-208-9509. 575-208-9509. Or you can visit their Facebook page, search Food Not Bombs Roswell, Nuevo Mexico, or NM. You can also visit foodnotbombs.net. Food Not Bombs Roswell, Nuevo Mexico is a community organization dedicated to feeding the hungry. They believe in providing nutritious meals for those in need rather than wasting food on bombs and violence. Volunteers prepare and serve meals in public spaces, fostering a sense of community and support. And from our camarada Joe González desde Califas, La Resistencia Brown Berets Nacional y la Mesa Nacional de los Brown Berets, in conjunction with the North American School for Organizers and the Second Rainbow Coalition, invite you to join La Clecha, Fireside Chats, revolutionary political education classes. Join them online to sit around the fire para una plática that looks forward to build structure within the movement of community organizers and learn about history, unity, and resistance. This is a weekly online event taking place via Zoom every Thursday evening at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it is open to the public. For more information, visit naso.network. That's naso.network. And now AztlanWeekly presenta Palabra.
Hello everybody, this is Andrea Martinez coming from Roswell, New Mexico, Aztlan. Today I want to talk about a Facebook group that is very popular in Roswell, and it goes by the name of Roswell Freedom Talk. It's meant for open discussion about anything, and recently the issue on a non-bipartisan race turned partisan when a post by a contributor highlighted people's political affiliations, labeling people as Democrats to get them to vote Republican instead of focusing on the community issues, particularly those affecting children. This escalated when a Democrat canvasser was reported using offensive language, sparking more division. I commented that people should focus on the best interests for the community rather than party labels. I was taken as a Democrat by people who read my comments, to which I clarified that I am not a Democrat, but actually the New Mexico State Representative for Raza Unida, which led to more online attention and speculation about the local candidates' affiliations. People began to wonder if Raza Unida had people running for office, to which we do not. I did, however, use the moment to highlight Raza Unida's presence and purpose, that we are here across the Southwest and beyond to serve our communities and to educate ourselves and so much more. I also want to take the time to let people know that the issue on voting is very important, because currently we have city council members seeking re-election that have done little to address serious issues such as recovery from last year's flood and lack of shelters for residents facing extreme weather. Instead, the city prioritized events like air shows, which did not meet attendance expectations. I urge voters to look past partisan lines and choose candidates based on their service, integrity, and real contributions to the community, rather than political party loyalty. And I would like to thank you for your time. Have a blessed day, evening, or night.
And now shout outs. Our camarada Andrea Martinez would like to make a shout out to Rosalinda Rodriguez. Rosalinda is a community advocate and volunteer. She's deeply involved in the community, helping organizations like the Zia Suicide Awareness event that took place last year and aims to occur every year. Andrea particularly thanks Rosalinda for coming to the Stop the Violence Roswell event to give people in need free haircuts. As everyone knows, when you are down on your luck, especially living on the streets, a haircut can do so much. AztlanWeekly reached out to her, and Rosalinda shared the following. Hello, my name is Rosalinda Rodriguez. I'm 31 years old, born here in Roswell, New Mexico. I'm a barber and have been cutting hair for 7 years now. I rent a shop called Downtown Barber Suite and have been extremely blessed with the most kind and loyal clients I could ask for. Prior to barbering, I worked in elderly care for 5 years. Helping people is so rewarding to the soul. We should all be more kind to each other, lend a helping hand, smile, and wish everyone a good day just because. If you're looking for a cut or trim, hit up Rosalinda. You can reach her at 575-208-9521. That's 575-208-9521. Or you can find her on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Gmail with the following handle. Downtown Barber Suit. That's Downtown Barber Suit. And we as AztlanWeekly would like to make a special shout out to Andrea Martinez for sharing sus palabras from our Palabra segment. And another special shout out to Hennessy Pedro Parker desde Houston, Texaslan, for providing his firme beats for the same segment. If you'd like to hear more from him, visit soundcloud.com/Hennessy Pedro Parker. And once again, our camarada Veronica Aliel would like to give a shout out to all Raza who are in any way contributing to building locally and in their communities, and an invite to join El Partido Nacional de la Raza Unida to build national political power. If interested, visit razaunidaparty.org. That's razaunidaparty.org. And myself, Ernesto Ayala, would like to give a shout out to my Chicanita, who just turned 18 on the 10th. I love you with all my heart. I'm proud of you and looking forward to celebrating more birthdays with you until you bury me in the backyard, like I've told you. Desde aquí, Pacoima, Califaztlán, con mucho amor, a mi hija, la Chicanita Belencita. Finally, AztlanWeekly would like to hear from you, Raza. If you reside anywhere in Aztlan and would like to share newsworthy events with us, or if you would like to make a special shout out to familia, friends, or queridos, or an organization serving our community, or if you would like to share your thoughts, cáiganle. Shoot us an email, news@aztlanweekly.com, or you can visit our website at aztlanweekly.com, and you can also find us on social media. Search #AztlanWeekly. Gracias. Que viva la raza y que viva Aztlán libre. Es todo.
Minutes, Coordinated Universal Time.